All right, welcome back. Phil and Jon Show, Zone number 5, Friday, June 12th, 2020. Hey, Phil, what's happening?
Hey John, how are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too, buddy. What's going on?
Um, it's a beautiful day. The weatherman was cheers. The weatherman was wrong out here in Aurora, Illinois. I forget people are in different zones. It was supposed to storm and rain, so I watered this morning. But I'm fine, John. How are you?
I'm good. It kind of looks like midnight where you're at right now. We're in different time zones. We're in the same time zone, but it looks like midnight at your booth. Ah!
Trying to head my but Phil and Jon Zone number 5. Unbelievable. Thank you for everybody coming and viewing us last weekend. And if you're out there, thank you for it's just
What are we doing? What are we doing, Phil? What are we doing here?
what are we doing here? We're I can't even look in your eyes because I give you a hug and then you would be right there. So give all my friends a hug.
That's what we're doing here. We're giving everybody a hug. Friday night hug session. Probably should be figuring out what you're going to have for dinner, but instead you tuned in to watch us.
Yeah, I mean, I went to get some mulch. They get free mulch today in Aurora, and I live right by Two Brothers Roundhouse in Aurora, basically Oswego, and they're gonna things are opening up the train stations, opening up Two Brothers Roundhouse, and
Are you going to start going out?
no,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but I'm invited to my friend Jessica Wild's party next weekend. It's backyard party, like that. Um, there's a lot of things going on. Indiana uh, opens up on July 4th. Everything. They're in stage 4. Illinois is wrong.
Are they going to have a 4th of July celebration there? That was something they canceled it here.
It's rules and restaurants and stuff like that. Bill Mackey Summer Stomp got canceled. They got a good announcement next Wednesday, I do believe. Bill Mackey and Sean Shield. I know Summer Stomp got canceled. It's out by me in McHenry County. Bill Mackey, one of the greatest music promoters. Go Bill. It has been outside in the patio every single day. Soul artists, and look up Mackey's Hideout in McHenry County. That's opening up.
He just canceled the festival, though. He just decided not to do the festival.
Yeah, Summer Stomp was canceled. That was a great little festival. One of my favorites. Great music. Bill Mackey, great guy. Brad Richter and Sean Shield.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we had a pretty good time there.
Yes, it's amazing music there, and that's what we're talking about. It is music and
Talking about music. I was watching the Blue Oxes doing a live feed all weekend. And of course, Cody Dekoff, Chicago Farmer, will be tonight at 7. I think Clusterpluck's actually playing at the Vintage Wine Bar in St. Louis tonight. 4 people, I think. Missouri has opened back up, and I'm pretty sure they're playing a show with people. We'll know in a few hours when they start. But
I've been to Blue Ox on Facebook, which is good and bad.
Are you watching on 2 screens tonight? Do you have the comments and stuff yet?
No, I don't want to do it.
That's okay. Jason Miller says, "What's up, guys?" Tracy Kenny said, "Hey."
Who? Tracy who?
Tracy Kenny.
Hey, Tracy.
Oh, Leona Demi is on YouTube. Hey, Leona. Billy Fury, he's on there.
Tracy.
Omar's watching. I'll just ran a few. Amanda Peel, Tammy Davis, John Eisenberg, Rock Cheshire.
So you'd get that. I
Machete.
don't get that because I don't want that. But hey, Tracy, good to see you.
I don't look at how many people are watching. I had that number.
By me, I didn't know that till last minute.
If they comment, we'll see right away. I don't always see when they come in the room, but if they comment, we'll see right away. Machete said he's hiding.
I have to get someone to. I want to see what people comment on because I respond because a lot of these are my friends I don't see.
Yeah, you should. You can get a second device and do it that way. Which reminds me, I need to send our link to our first guest here in a little bit. He's gonna come in around 4:20, I
Did you
think.
tell anybody who we have on tonight?
I just said we have a Oh shoot, that's not the right link. I said we have a world travel banjo player who travels the world with his bluegrass band playing banjo music from the Chicago area. And we also have another Northern Illinois traveling guitar player coming on the show tonight.
Indian Town Traveler.
Indian Town Traveler, the grasshopper himself. Daniel Watkins will be on here in a little bit, but I've got to send the link.
Mr. Dan.
I gotta send. I can't forget to send the link though.
Watkins.
Show it again, Phil. Show it again. It went off your image there.
Dan Watkins is coming up. Miss you, Dan.
How many bands can you name that Dan has been in?
One of the albums I did from Barbecue Fest for Miles. Wish Miles all the health and wealth.
Oh yeah, Jason Miles. Everybody, we always wish Jason Miles the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
He took. I saw him at U Fest, and we went to Barbecue Fest he had, and Dan played there. This is a old sign, but hey, Dan, miss you.
Well, he's supposed to be here in a few minutes.
Is he?
He said he'd be here around 4:20. It's 4:06. I sent him the link, but he hasn't.
Is anybody watching us? Because I was going to say my drug dealer was about
Hey,
there.
well, I got a note from the FCC that said we can't talk about that stuff. No hurry, Daniel. No. He said he'll be on in a few.
I look old. I gotta sit.
We are old. We've been doing this for a while.
It's been 5 weeks. It boggles my mind how long we've done this.
It's almost as long as MASH was on the air.
Oh no, Masters on like. Are we gonna do like 30 years?
I hope not. Hopefully we'll be at a festival if it's actually hanging out and hugging people someday. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what you're saying. I have tomatoes in my garden. I mean, it was.
I checked out my garden today. I put some plants in it. Took some out. Did some transplanting.
When I paint, and I'm doing some
Should we talk about art?
stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna get my notes. Chester. Yeah, Janine, thank you. I brought in my garden signs to her Milltown Market in Wilmington. There's about 20, 25 signs of my artwork there. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Pink and Floyd. I'm doing some bizarre stuff. Pieces of antiques that I'm painting.
Did you get any of that wood yet that you got from Machete? You start working with any of that?
Machete? I don't know Machete.
He's on here, but he's hiding. He's incognito.
Oh, baloney. He's right on. You know, we should have some background music.
We can't get away with too much background music because they'll pinch us if we put too much background music on.
Okay, no.
Because they'll mute us.
Did you tell our guests who we're having on tonight?
I talked about Daniel Watkins. We had two guests tonight. We did talk about that. Yeah, we talked about it. We can't talk about it too many times, I guess, and it won't be as exciting when they actually get here.
Well, somehow it leaks like the internet.
You think there's a leak for our show? I don't know if we're that big yet. Maybe it is the 5th episode. I guess we could be.
What do you mean it could be? We had 900 views last week. What the hell was that about?
There's like 970 something, and then by the time the cows came home. But we had Vince Herman on last week too, and I shared it a bunch of places, and I think it got out there, and I hope people watched it. We had a lot of views that were like later on, after we did the show. Like the next day, the day after that, people started liking it on different places where it was shared at. So as long as it's out there, people will always be able to watch them.
Yeah, you don't have to blame music and musicians, but it's supportive of the arts and music. But you see what Vince did, it's like Cribs.
He took us on a tour of his art in his house. So I just checked last week's show just to check in and see how many views we did have, and it says we had 1,000 by the time it was all said and done. So 1,000 views that we could celebrate that, I suppose, if there was some reason to celebrate it.
Okay, stop the views.
I just checked last week's show
Here's number 5 of the art.
Well, I clicked on it like 840 times.
You can't see this on a rock copper. Here's to the Quarantine Rock Club. What I never post. I'm terrible at posting. There it is. So we have 5 rocks, John. Here's number 1. We can sell them like collectors. That's number 1.
5 nights, 5 rocks.
And here's a anything where you can put your scroll in. So I'm picking on some wild stuff.
Background tunes would work, and it's a good idea. Brock had a good suggestion about using some kind of obscure music for it, but the only problem is we still run into the fact that it's kind of like a CB radio, and if there's music coming from one window all the time, it cuts everybody else out. Unfortunately, we'll have to just sit here in silence, an awkward, weird silence, and then every now and then I'll just be like...
Do some woodwork. I did a piece of work. Here, did I tell you I love you? A little piece of woodwork.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, for the little doodles.
Phil makes the most awesome garden art and indoor-outdoor art. All of this stuff's basically indoor-outdoor. The records, you got to be careful in the sun a little bit.
Yep. I painted albums for the first time in over a month today.
That flower needs a voice. Like, hey, I'm a flower. It's not...
Flower. Get your own show.
Special guest tonight, the little red flower. They could. I got some cookies from my mom. They were delivered to me. They're going to be delicious. Haven't eaten any of them yet. I'm going to spoil my supper. Phil, Tom Harmon's asking, is that my Charlie Parr photo?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Tommy. Tommy gave me this photograph. I love Charlie Parr. You gotta watch me. I love Charlie Parr. Anybody know Charlie Parr?
You should listen to Charlie Parr if you don't know who he is yet. We love Charlie Parr.
Tommy took this picture. I framed it, and he signed it. And Tommy gave it to me. Thank you, Tommy Harmon. Yes, it is.
Tommy used to take so many pictures. He always had that camera with him for years.
Tommy, I like what you wrote. I don't like the Jack Daniels and chocolate milk.
Did you try that? Did he text you and me at the same time to get to?
He doesn't text me. I've never. What is texting?
Texting, it's something you do on your phone with letters. So it's like paging. It's like beeping with words. Tom Harmon the show tonight is actually underwritten by Tom Harmon and Tom Harmon Productions. He's a musician. If you look into the description of the show, you'll find a link to his music page. By underwritten, I mean he didn't write us enough material to fill the whole show. It was underwritten, but we will make up for the space in between. That was one of his jokes right there that he wrote for us. But we're gonna have Tommy on the show one of these nights. I mean, he does have a link in the description.
Good. Tommy, you got to come over to my house and we'll do it from here. I need some pictures taken.
That'd be a cool way to do it.
He's a knucklehead, but I love Tommy Harmon. Much love, Tommy.
You're knucklehead, Tommy. We love you a lot. He does have a ton of live music, without question. So many live concerts that he's recorded that are.
I'll go to Tommy Harmon Photography. He does a lot of taping of music. So if you
Harmon712 on archive.org also is his call sign on there.
Love you, Tommy.
There's a link in the description today. Yeah, so we're going out today. We're going out internationally, all over the world, in the country. Did you know that we're international now? Somebody should... had a friend watching from South America.
I'm not shocked. I mean, what did I watch in the last 2 days? I like documentaries. I watched about... we got to watch what I say. We're live.
I watched a documentary this week too. It was kind of a hard one to
Well,
watch.
no, I watched a documentary when Russia and Ukraine fell down. A documentary and how their music. I like the music in Afghanistan. How they couldn't do it, and then they had these bands, and how they did do it in their walls in their studios. Musicians, wow, you gotta be.
Because they're not supposed to be doing it, so it's got to be secretive.
It's secretive, but what they do, we're spoiled.
Oh, we're so spoiled in every aspect of our life. We're all spoiled, and we don't even know it. I mean, we do have.
I mean, if they had a live Zoom chat, there would be nothing behind us except a blank wall.
Yeah. Well, the thing about artwork is that some religions and ideas, they don't think that you should have artwork, and that it shouldn't be something you shouldn't have anything to enjoy with your eyes.
So I watched a couple. I like the documentaries.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, John.
Where's Chester? Is Chester in there?
420's coming up, and I don't have any 420. So
yeah, it's 4:16 now. I told him about 4:20. He could come in. Where's Chester at?
I live in right below me. I live in Aurora. I'm out at 420. If anybody wants to come by, come on by. I'll give him the album.
Is Chester ready to dance?
Chester's outside right now before, but the cat, we got to.
All right, we'll dance with Chester here pretty soon. We'll have a time where everybody stops and just dances.
Summer Stomp is canceled.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I always forget we're talking nationals. Like everybody knows, Summer Stomp's in McHenry, Bill Mackey, that got canceled. I'm going to give a big shout out to Janine. Thank you for, I have signs, 2025 signs at Milltown Market in Wilmington. Go on Garden Signs, stop at her shop in Joliet Greenway.
I wish that the dog wanted to dance. I think we're gonna bring a guest in now. That's what we need. It hit that perfect moment where we bring in a guest. Our friend Daniel.
Wait, it's on my notes here, right here, if you want to see it.
Who the guest is?
Cannot play a lick. Why don't you play a song?
No, the guest can play a lick. We're gonna bring in Daniel Watkins right now. Do you know where we have a guest coming in, right, Phil?
Yes. It's Dan.
I'm bringing Dan in to the room. Dan Watkins, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? Oh, he's still muted. Let's see if we can get him to unmute here. Hold on, there we go. There we go. And we got him now. Daniel, what's happening, buddy?
How you doing? Sorry about that. I always have it on mute for when I'm with my students if I'm noodling while I'm waiting on.
I see you know how to use the buttons and things.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not the greatest. I know enough to get in trouble.
Hi, Dan. Miss you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our good friend Daniel Watkins. He plays music from up north Illinois here, and he just plays in all kinds of different bands. And I've known him for a long time, since one of the first solstice parties we ever had, actually, with bands. The Insignificant String Band came.
Just a little babe then.
And Dan was one of the pilots in that particular steamboat at the time. But so many bands since then. Yeah, it was a long time ago. You were 19?
I was pretty young. I remember that. What was it? 2009? I would have been.
Yeah, probably.
I would have just turned 19. Because usually you have the solstice party right before my birthday. So my birthday's on the 22nd.
Ah, my birthday's on 19th, so we're close. We're close like that. So what you said? Students? You're teaching guitar lessons through the computer, trying to?
I was kind of fortunate because, well, fortunate in some ways. Last year was when I started doing all music full time, and I was slowly kind of building a pool of guitar students. And then, so when all the lockdowns and stuff happened, I moved most of them online. At least the students I knew I could, that could figure out all the technology and stuff. But I kept most of my students, and that's kept me pretty busy. And it's been a good stream of income. It could be bigger, but it's something, you know.
Yeah, it's better than nothing because we can't play, so you got to be able to keep that music going as best you can.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been pretty fortunate compared to others, you know. So.
Me too.
I've been kind of trying to take advantage of the pause that I have a bit better, and you know, take care of things at home while I have this time off, and come out swinging once things kind of start, you know.
Yeah, once they say we finally can go out and play again, we will.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm starting to get calls about gigs and stuff, but I don't really feel crazy about traveling too much yet. And I'm kind of waiting to see what. I'm kind of waiting for when the Ramblers get back going. So
I think you can do it. There's a lot of things out here, Dan.
There's a ton of stuff. I mean, I've been asked about a few things. And a few of them I've said yes to. Some of them were just, you know, I can't.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go
420. We
too far for peanuts right now. You know, like I'll take it if you know if it's worth it. But I gotta be conservative about my expenses right now. So.
I hope no one's watching. I hope a few people are watching for you. But I miss you, Dan. And Dan Watkins is a young gentleman that I met a while ago, and I think he has, if I can say it right, but I'm gonna say so much potential. I really dig his vibe. I think he's changed. I don't think he knows me, but see, I got goosebumps.
You don't think Daniel Watkins knows you? He knows who Phil is.
Bro.
I really do think he's progressed into something that, hey, get his autograph now.
All right.
We'll see what happens, man. I just want to pay my bills and play music.
Don't say that. No.
Well, you've always
you know, that's all. I mean, yeah. No. I mean, I'm not trying to shoot for too much. I just, you know, if I can continue teaching, if I can gain some more students and continue studying, and then play the gigs I want to play, I'll be, you know, and do that the rest of my life. I'll be happy, man. All that signing autographs and stuff, like that kind of stuff's for the.
Yeah, that's a whole different class than what we all work with and who we're lucky to be around. You know, they will still sign autograph. You can still get Dan's autograph, I bet you though.
I do. I have a few. Dan, you got an album?
Do I have an album?
From me?
I got an album behind me.
Yeah.
I see a Snoopy.
I am going to be I am going to be acquiring a buttload of records at the end of the summer.
We talked about that. Man.
Like, no, I'm getting a lot more. I'm getting about 3 times as much as I already have. And so I'm going to have to build some record shelves. I also have to go through and get rid of some stuff. Like, I've been saying this for, like, the past year and a half, that I need to get rid of some records. And now I actually really need to comb through everything, get rid of the stuff that I'm not.
You have a good turntable?
I have a good turntable. I actually had to buy a new one this year because I had an old one that Emily's dad had given to me years ago. And that one finally crapped out. But the stereo itself is still good. So I just got one of those Audio-Technica tables and plugged into that stereo. And now it just sits on top of the old one.
Is a really old man talking? We talk about stereo. I don't know if people talk about stereo. Stereo means turntable. When you put on a good turntable with a needle, put an album on there, you know I paint on them. They're crappy. It sounds goosebumpish, doesn't it?
Dude, I notice a huge difference. And I was listening to an interview with T-Bone Burnett. I think he was talking to Mark Maron.
A great
he was talking
great
about
producer.
Oh yeah, and people were he says how people always comment that records sound warmer, but he was saying something about how that's not really the case. You get a better sense of the depth, you know, and you can really hear the spacing of the instruments really well versus
on the vinyl like that.
Which
yeah.
I totally agree with, because like you can if I spin one of my Norman Blake records and then I go listen to the same record on like YouTube or Spotify or whatever, Like it's so
Nothing.
compressed, you lose that sense of depth and space that
Just
makes a huge,
no,
especially in
big deal.
acoustic music. I think
I think everything
you have
in
to hear
life,
that space.
everything in life, it kind of has to do with the effort you put into it, And in the old days of music, and even up into tapes, but records especially, and 8 tracks and everything, you had to earn the money. Go buy the album, open it up, take it home, have a device, turn it on, listen to that one album, and it took
Yeah.
actual work. And then in 20 minutes, you had to get up and flip it over. And now you can just like reach into the air and you can get every Grateful Dead set they ever played. It's right here in the air. I think the effort that you put into the music, you can appreciate so much more. I mean, not only that the music was so good, but that there's a lot more appreciation in actual physical hard
Hey,
copy
Dan, are you
music.
still playing with Slow Shine, or what's going on with Slow Shine, or?
Well, I don't. Every once in a while, I get together and jam with them, but I haven't really talked to many of the guys lately. I've been talking to Mike Drazzler a little bit because he's been staying down in Peoria since all this happened. Trying to fix up his mom's old house.
Well,
No, I've been honestly, I've kind of been talking to a few people. Jesse and Mark been coming down for rehearsing, but I've been keeping my social
River
circle
Valley?
pretty small and keeping to myself because I got so much going on right now.
what do you got
actually-
going on?
Well, tomorrow I got to fill some garden beds.
Remember,
That I built some raised garden boxes. So
I just want to
I'm gonna
say,
fill that up with
Daniel, I miss you,
compost
buddy.
and-
I
I
miss
miss
you.
you too, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna say, about getting back to the records. I remember, like, right at the beginning of the lockdown and stuff. I think it might have been Chris Dollar from Hen House Prowlers, but he shared a post about really listening to records, and actually listen and read the notes and stuff. And that was one of the things that, the past couple months with all this time, like, I've been going through, especially a lot of the old, like, the Vanguard folk records. I mean,
I've seen a lot of your
there's
collection.
so much like nuggets of like information on the back of those record covers. It's like, I mean, that's like
In my house, I don't-
that's it. I learned so much more about the music sitting down and reading the back of the the liner notes than just streaming it on Spotify.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really where it's at. I mean, that's.
Oh, we just had a comment from a fellow by the name of Nick Rubio. You ever heard of that guy?
Yeah.
And what Nick says is, Mira.
Oh, hi, Mira.
So Mira's watching. That's cool, man. That's super cool. We love
Yeah,
Mira. We love your whole family.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Hey, Dan, every time you come out to Aurora, Batavia, you're more than welcome.
There's talks about maybe doing some outdoor stuff up that way.
They should at Two Brothers Roundhouse. They have the center thing, and
Yeah, I was talking to River's Edge, to be honest with you.
Megan
I
upstairs.
don't know. I don't want to speak too much because
I know. We're live. We're not taught yet.
yeah, but I would definitely go up and play at River's Edge because I love that place.
Up on a deck.
I want to.
It'd be happening.
I love that place so much. And
I know.
And
Well,
the sad thing about it.
Great. It's good
The
stuff.
sad- yeah. The sad thing about it is that like some of the bluegrass Sundays that I played there the last few times were some of the best, most fun I've had. So I really miss that place right now, and I'm looking forward to playing there again. I just don't know when that's going to be yet.
It should be soon. I know. Anyway, I mean,
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too much because I don't know what's going on yet. There's talks about maybe this Sunday, but I don't know if I can swing that. So.
have we ever been so confused in our lives where if we think we're smart, we have really no clue? We want an answer, we just go, I don't know. Do we really know?
We don't know.
Man.
No.
I
Do
don't know.
we really know?
I don't know if I really
Are
want
we
to
waiting
know
for
either.
someone
I
to tell
really
us?
want to know. No. Right.
Hey, I have
I don't-
Daddy, don't
Like,
give
I'm
me
okay
that
with not
job.
knowing.
I'm-
okay.
No.
I'm patient. They always said I had patience, and I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. And they
Well,
start.
so this should be hitting it.
Well, would you say the solstice? Is that what you said?
I mean, I'm trying to Solaris like you, Dan, going and playing in a patio and
Mhm.
hear that live music. And
Yeah.
um, unless you don't want to, and I know certain music,
Yeah.
I can't say that,
Well,
you don't want to go on public. I went to the liquor store
yeah.
and they always had them. I went to the liquor store today, no masks, no nothing. I wear my
Yeah. It's
But there-
starting to be less and less masks everywhere I go.
Well, there's all that, but I'm kind of comfortable like doing some homework right now. I got a lot of stuff here at home. That
1+1 is
I'm keeping myself pretty busy. Like
2.
I'm working on learning some new songs and practicing, sharpening up my skills and stuff. And
very impressive.
I wasn't doing any of that when I was gigging every weekend before, and now I have all this time, and I'm grateful for it. Like I have all this time to practice and study what I want, and I'm not trying to learn new songs for some band that's playing at the pizza place down the street.
Right, but yeah, I know, I understand that. I saw you with Dan Walk, and then I saw you with the West Duffy Trio at some.
Yeah.
Another good band, West Tuffy Trio. That's a Dan Walker's
You
project.
changed. I couldn't even have a pop or a beer, and I looked, wow.
Did
Yeah.
Just as say hi to West Duffy for me.
I
and,
remember I got a good memory of Dan Watkins and us at all. We were all at John Hartford's Music Festival. I want to
Is that
say
the year that
Those guys, the boys.
with New Riders, the Purple Sage played.
Yeah.
And we were ended up in that picking
jam.
circle with David Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! I remember that.
That
I
was a
remember that
good
night
time.
distinctively. You standing there, and we were standing there together talking to Adam Copeland from Rumpke Mountain Boys, and just it was like a turning point in everything. And I swear, you walked away from that fire, and you came back like the next day, like your guitar was smoking, Daniel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've watched you play for a long time, and every time I see you, you just seem to get better and better. And I appreciate how you're doing it, man.
Well, I've been working pretty hard lately at it, and I'm hoping that it pays off. That was so long ago. I remember that Adam kind of took a liking to me because we both played Larrabee guitars.
Nice.
He was showing me this left-handed Larrabee. Apparently, Larrabee makes pretty good left-handed guitars. So
He's a good mirror image player to play with because you got his hands where your hand is, kind of playing because he played
and
left.
There's another cat that plays bluegrass who lived in Colorado for a little bit, and he was left-handed and played Larrabee too, and I can't remember his damn name now. I think his name was Andrew.
Andrew DiCarlo.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
He played Larrabee as well. So, we had this whole conversation about Larrabee guitars, I'm not going to get into detail because nobody cares about that guitar geek stuff.
Hey man, you just open eyes to.
Yes, Dan. No.
I mean, I don't think I could remember the conversation anyway. It's pretty late.
I remember flashes from that. Now I remember looking up and having David Nelson singing "Ripple," and we were all singing along with that. Felt like in that particular place. Wow, what an awesome experience.
I think I realized how great, how good of a thing that was until years back. Looking back, I'm like, wow, that happened.
Well, I had the album, the almost acoustic album, Joey Garcia Almost Acoustic, and it has Diamond Joe on it, and he's on that record.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I watched the whole New Rider show. I'd seen David Nelson band, and we were sitting at the fire picking with him until he started playing that song. Then it all clicked, like who we were sitting there at the campfire with. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see the I posted from Blue Ox today, Daniel?
What's that?
I posted pictures when we were at Blue Ox, and you're on a bunch of them.
Pink is in the house.
I haven't been looking at my Facebook for the past week.
You are amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so jealous.
I'm kind of getting to the point where I gotta be productive, and I can't spend my time scrolling down.
Yeah, no, I really don't like Facebook. I guess I consider Zoom Facebook.
You can't. Yeah, I use it for what I use it for, but it does have its moments where
But we had some good pictures, Dan. You should look back on it.
I know. I was actually looking. We were looking for some of those recently, so I'm gonna have to log in and look.
There's some beautiful.
Was that today that you posted that?
Excuse me?
Was that today that you posted that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
From Nancy Fine and Laura, they posted some stuff, memories, and I just posted.
Because we were looking for pictures of that guy who passed out, and that random guy who was camped out near us.
Right.
find his
I saw that. I gotta watch it. I saw that last week, a couple days ago. But these are new pictures, and it's
That was such a crazy weekend for me. There was a lot of.
That was great.
I won't even talk
good
about
memory.
it.
Let's have some more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of personal stuff going on for me that
I know.
It was such a strange experience.
I know, Daniel. We're talking private.
But it was a good time. I remember crying during John McCrary, so that was a good.
What are you gonna play for us?
So yeah, real quick, this is our good friend Daniel Watkins. He's a
Daniel Watkins, Indian Town
musician,
Traveler.
Indian Town Traveler, the West FE Trio, River Valley Rangers, and
I'm feeling my fiddle by the way before we have to go. In the way long time ago, times. I wonder how long it would take us to get round everything we know. In the way long time ago, times. In them way long times, way long time ago times. In the way long time ago times. In them way long times, way long time ago times. In the way long time ago times. I play the best when I play with you. Play the old tunes the way we used to do. Way long time ago times. All night long beside my head, that old time fiddle was rocking the bed. And way long time ago times. In them way long times, way long time ago times. In way long time ago times. In them way long times, way long time ago times. In a way long time ago times.
yeah, awesome, man. That sounds really good, Daniel. Guitar sounds wonderful. What was the name of that guitar again? Tell us.
It's a Larrivee D50. So I bought it August of 2013. It was built in March 2013. I bought it from Andy Hatfield, who is a two-time Walnut Valley Festival champion. And he won this guitar up in Michigan at some contest, and I think he was putting a new roof on his house, and he needed some extra scratch. So I was actually looking for a guitar at the time, and I didn't really want to just go to Guitar Center and buy some, Martin that everybody else kind of has.
Yeah.
Not that anything wrong with the Martin. Like, I would love to play a Martin, but I didn't want something that I would have to spend a buttload of cash on, but I wanted something that was solid wood and pretty good. And so this, long story short, this just seemed to be the right guitar. And immediately, I fell in love with it when I began playing with it. And then, I don't know, I think I took it to Hartford Fest 2015. I put my first ding in it there.
Mm-hmm.
Jamming late night. It's like a little ding there.
Wasn't a golf cart related incident, was it?
It's gotten a few, love taps since then too. But
I think as long as
I love this guitar.
Guitars they get a little bit of a character with little scratches and dents and dings and stories that get told about it and what memory.
Mm-hmm.
I had the little tuners, right? The little snark tuner that goes on the end of a guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had two of them usually. I'd carry two of them and just have backup. So somebody always needs one. I put one on my guitar and I was walking through the woods and my guitar kind of got caught on a bush, and I got out to the campfire where we were picking at and the tuner was gone, It's a bummer. I knew what had happened. That bush had taken, it was dark on the trail. Whatever, it was gone,
Mm-hmm.
And so I put the other tuner on the guitar and I went walking back out of the woods and my damn guitar got caught on a bush again. And I reached down and there was the other tuner that I lost the first time and the tuner, right? So I lost the tuner twice two tuners in the same spot, but found them both the same night in the midnight dark guitars, they're fun to carry through the woods.
Yeah.
It sounded really good, Dan. Your music sounds beautiful, man.
Really good. When
Yeah.
Laura's on the deck in our backyard listening to it, sounds way better.
Nice.
Fantastic, Dan. We miss you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of waiting to see what goes on in the next few weeks. I'd like to have some friends over for my birthday, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
Next
Right.
month, a couple Mondays.
June 22nd.
Yeah.
June 20. Are you?
It's Cancer.
Yeah, some people.
And a Gemini.
Some gal told me that I was on the cusp of, I think it was Gemini and Cancer or something.
Yeah, because I'm the 19th, so I'm on the other side of just that little window or whatever. Whatever that can mean,
I don't know what any of that means. I just know that a Cancer is a crab. That's all I know.
So have you been playing a lot? Have you been writing new music? Have you been able to? Are you just exploring the stuff you know? I mean,
I dusted off a few tunes, but I really haven't been writing like I want to. I need to kind of start taking time out of my day where I'm just, at least, and probably the morning is probably the best time, but I just need to just wake up and just start writing stuff down and let it kind of go and start doing that because I don't exercise that part of my brain enough.
we have so much. We have so
But
much.
I got a lot of different things pulling at me too. So
Yeah. It's time to dance with Chester.
Yeah.
what's that?
Dance with Chester time. Where's
Yeah.
Chester? Chester's the dog. You know Chester.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I feel like I just saw you not that long ago, Phil. But I know it's been months.
It has, but it hasn't. But it has, but it hasn't. But
Yeah, it
'Cause I
does.
think I saw you right
think
before
that way.
all this shit hit the fan.
Was the last show you saw, Daniel?
I don't know, but you know what? You'll dig this though. One of the last shows I played, it wasn't the very last show, but it was one of the last shows, and it was a great show. My buddy Brian Fox Ellis, who's like a professional storyteller and historical reenactor, whatever you want to call it, he got me this gig on the Spirit of Peoria for filling in for Barry Cloyd because Barry Cloyd was on vacation, but it was for this convention for outdoor museums. So some people were dressed up in old timey garb, and they were doing all these things on the boat all day. And I had a little half-hour, 45-minute set, and I paid really well. And I got to stay the night at the Hotel Star Rock, and then I drove with one of the guys who works for the Spirit of Peoria. I drove with him back to Sparland. But dude, it was such a cool gig though because I got to play these John Hartford songs and a few. I got to play this one river song that I wrote a while ago that kind of references the Spirit of Peoria. So that was a pretty cool gig, and then my very last gig was just really weird because it was the Sunday that Pritzker announced
Stay at
he
home.
was closing.
Yeah.
So it was just and that happened during my set break. So it was just really
Yeah.
And then it was not it was a gig that was not going well anyways, and then it just kept on getting progressively worse. But the bar was really nice, and they paid me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody was super nice and kind, but it was just such a weird
I
vibe
went,
that day.
oh man, yeah, that's gonna be something that we all remember. It's gonna be, remember where you were when this happened. Well, what was the last live show you got to see?
Well,
It's
what was crazy for me is so this is getting really personal, but like at the beginning of the year, January, I did this. I did like 3 nights with my buddy Brett Conlon. It was like mid-January, and I remember because I drove through like snowstorms and stuff that weekend, and I think one gig we just canceled. And we played Sunday night. I won't say where it was at, but it was such a great night. We had everything dialed in. It was like the best night of the weekend, and like people were there and really enjoying themselves. And some of them were randoms, some of them were friends of ours. And Brett played this killer set, and I got up. I'm like 4 songs deep, you know, and I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I'm connecting with the audience and everything. Everything's going off well. And then like right as I'm ending like my 4th song, all of a sudden like I hear some lady yelling, "Troy, what did you take? What did you take?"
Oh no.
And this like guy like falls to the ground. Well, long story short, he like overdosed on heroin, and they had to like revive him like with Narcan and shit. And this was like all in the middle of my show.
Right, the show.
And it really fucked with me, man. Like I felt like I almost saw someone die in front of me during my set, and
And the world
really had me thinking differently about where I want to play now. You know.
And then the world just
Yeah,
said, "All right,
also-
flush it."
You know why? Because your music is killer.
Well, you know, I shouldn't be telling you this, but so a friend of mine
You already told me this in private.
a friend of mine who was there, he's an older gentleman and he's a business owner, dear friend, but he sometimes just he's the kind of person who has no filter whatsoever, and so like he always sat in his usual spot. You know, whenever I play at this venue, he's always there. You know, he sits in the same chair. So like when this was happening, I put my guitar down because the ambulance wasn't there yet, and so like I was just trying to like be respectful and get out of the way and stuff. And I walk over to my friend, and I kind of like he's sitting at the table, so I kind of like bend over and to talk to him a little bit and quietly. And he kind of like leans over and he goes, "You're knocking them dead, kid." And I just like, my jaw dropped. Like I couldn't speak at that point. Like I didn't know whether to cry or laugh or what to do because it's just like, it was.
It's an uncomfortable
It
fun.
was very like, the delivery was great, but it was just like, I don't want to hear that shit right now, you know? And so like I walked to the back of the room. Oh, it's such a weird experience.
It's
you know?
strange. Yeah, I can't
And so like
imagine.
the past all year since January, I've been like drinking less, exercising,
Yeah.
getting back in my running routine.
Yeah, you're bulked up a little bit, buddy.
I'm not even that big. I lost a lot of weight.
You look, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm fit now. I've been doing like a ton of pull-ups and like just a bunch of random like body weight exercises, core
You still have a drink
exercises.
with me and John?
What's that?
You still gonna have a drink with me and John one day?
Oh yeah,
He didn't say he quit.
I still drink a beer here and there, man. I'm not like
Okay, that's all.
I'm just straight and narrow.
Maybe this whole experience of us staying home and not doing our festival crazy marathon weekends we all push ourselves to do is maybe good for us for a year. It's
I
a
think a
cleanse.
pause is great. I just think, it's hard. I mean, it's hard when you have like everything cut out from under you.
yeah.
And-
Money in
and
the
you-
job part sucks.
It's just this is what we do every year, every single year, and obviously, like for you guys and me, like doing this stuff is our this is our life, this is a lifestyle, and like to have that taken out from under us so quickly, it's just it's difficult, but I think. When there's change, there's always opportunity if you're willing to look for it. But it's easier said than done in most cases.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make lemonade out of lemons at this point.
That's all we can do, man. That's all we can do. We got a few more minutes with you, Dan. You want to play our song for us?
Yeah, I'll do another one.
You play 2 more if you like. I'm not going to cut you off or anything. We have another guest in a little while, but he's not confirmed quite yet. But, anyway. Dan Watkins,
Yeah.
everybody. And Dan, where can your music be found at?
I do have a little bit of music on Spotify. So that's another thing. I'm kind of working on stuff here at home and learning how to record with what I have out here. And I kind of want to get something that I'm really, happy with, that I can share with people.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But, in the meantime, I'm really just trying to.
But you are playing with the range, the river.
sharpen my tools.
You have been playing with the River Valley
with them.
Rangers
We're
too.
working on some recording right now.
Okay, so the River Valley Rangers is another place. Just there's a lot of little outlets that Daniel plays in. I just want to make sure people know about it. And play some music for us.
Yeah. So check out. Yeah. Look me up online. Look up River Valley Rangers.
Woohoo, man! Heck yeah, Daniel Watkins, everybody. My goodness, man.
Oh man.
It's good to see you, buddy.
So nerve-wracking to
What
play
you drinking, Daniel?
remotely like this. It's so weird.
Is that tea or coffee?
Hi, Daniel.
Water. Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm drinking water. I'm doing good.
I'm drinking water too. It's actually milk, but it looks a lot cooler in this can.
Yeah.
Hey, hug that girly for me, Daniel.
What's up?
Hug that girly for me.
She's doing well. She got a lot of sunburn this past week.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Nice.
Not like in a bad way.
yeah.
In a good way. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Hey, Amy, I like that shirt. Whatever you got on, that's pretty cool.
What's that?
What Amy's got on, that's pretty sharp.
Oh,
He's
cool.
making moves with my wife, man.
Love you, Daniel.
Yeah. What?
See if I
Take
can.
away, buddy.
Got another one for us, Dan?
I'll do one more for you.
All right, we got 5 more minutes still. Please, thank you.
$28 in my pocket, quarter tank of gas in the van.
And I've been following all these white lines that seem to rush away without it. Oh, sweet Elizabeth, I got you on the phone. I've been playing out these smoky bars again. Grown weary of the road that stretches farther on. If you're coming knocking, won't you let me in? Play till my fingers bleed. Yeah, my voice needs to catch a few bells and a case, pack up and go. And at 2 a.m. I feel lonesome, so I thought I might get you on the line. Oh, sweet Elizabeth, I got you on the phone. I've been playing out these smoky bars again. I've grown weary of the road that stretches farther on. If coming knocking, won't you let me in? Sometimes it seems easier to leave than to turn to you face to face. See those blue eyes staring back at mine. But girl, I just can't take it anymore. Well, I ain't ever begged before, but I'm calling, told you no. Oh, sweet Elizabeth, I got you on the phone. I've been playing out these smoky bars again. I'm gonna weary of the road that stretches farther on. If coming knocking, won't you let me in? I've grown weary of the road that stretches farther on. If coming knocking, baby, won't you let me in?
All right, man. Oh,
Right on, Daniel. Miss you more.
Hey,
You know.
thanks for inviting me on here. It's been good to chat with you guys again.
oh yeah. Yes, this is just an opportunity for all of us to hang out and see each other from time to time, and for me and Phil to have our booth set up next to each other, kind of for virtually for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a smartass. You should be privileged to come on to our show. This is gonna be famous one day.
Phil, he's our marketing guy.
I don't nothing.
This is show
But,
number 5. You're following.
But
Last week we had Vince Herman on here. After you tonight, we're gonna have Ben Wright's gonna come on from the Print House
I don't
Prowlers.
know.
Oh, Ben's coming on?
Yeah, so we're really
Dude,
trying to just
I've been
include.
watching a lot of his Bluegrass Ambassador stuff. It's been great.
Yeah,
If
he'll get to
people
talking to
are
us
not-
about that
if,
stuff.
If anyone's not watching that, I strongly encourage them to do so. If you love music, that's been a
I don't know how to play a lick, and I don't know. I know a lot about music. I know a lot about musicians. And I
Music
know a
only
lot-
works. Music has to have a musician and a listener.
Up and don't stop me. Dan Watkins, I was very impressed when I got the Goosebumps when I saw him progress to what he did. That's enough.
It's awesome. We love you, Dan. We love having you on the show. We love being part of what we're doing. You'd be welcome to come back again. Get them Rangers to come and hang out some night, and we'll get everybody on there picking at some point. Then maybe what we'll do, we'll have an actual party where we actually go and do live music.
Because eventually you're gonna have to pay us. I'll be there.
But how much will that be, though, Phil? That's my curiosity. What kind of numbers are we talking here? You can pay to play like on the internet show. Wait,
Oh man.
I love laughing.
me too. It's good for us. It's so important. So what you got next, Dan? What's next for you, buddy? What's going on next?
What do you mean? Just what my game plan is?
Yeah.
For
You got
us,
anything going? What you doing tomorrow? You got any plans tomorrow?
I got some amateur gardening going on tomorrow.
I like that.
Mostly what I'm doing is just teaching, kind of working on stuff around the house. I live in my grandmother's old house, and I'm starting to realize, just really starting to appreciate what a great location this is.
What is behind you, Daniel? That brown. I like that brown. What is that?
What, all this?
Yeah, that brown.
So, this is like, I found myself in the morning, like, working here the most. It's actually my kitchen. And since I'm a bachelor, and I can do whatever the hell I want most of the time, when my daughter's not over here, I just hung up a blanket so I could dampen the sound and just make this my little recording studio.
What's with the brown? It looks like Chinese feng shui.
I think it's a sleeping bag.
This is just a shower curtain. I just didn't want people like staring at my coffee cups and junk and
Oh,
stuff.
too bad. They
I mean,
stared.
there's not that much junk, but it looked, I just thought when I'm teaching students, I should look a little bit.
You wouldn't know it to look, but you're basically sitting in Phil's bedroom with him right now. So we all have our own home
He's in his
studios.
basement, isn't he?
No.
He's in the bedroom today.
Oh.
He needs to move it downstairs.
Cheers.
Cheers, Daniel. Cheers. Glad you're here, buddy.
Cheers.
One way or another, it's really good to see you, man. We're gonna see you real soon.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
More to come.
I'll come back anytime you want me, so just holler at me.
Really?
I'll be here.
But apparently, you'll have to pay to do so.
Okay. Well, we need money. I mean, these people.
Bro, I got piles of records I'm gonna be giving
I don't
you.
care about the records. I want to hear your music. I don't care about the records, man. I got tons of records. I want to hear you play. Come on over. Come on.
All right, Daniel. We love you,
We'll
man.
see.
Thank you for coming on, brother. We do appreciate you coming on. We're gonna talk to you real soon, man. Okay.
All right. Love y'all. Take care.
Love
Be
you too, my
safe.
brother.
Love
Yeah.
you, Daniel.
Thank you.
I'm a smart ass. Love you, Dan.
That's how we will make the big money. You start getting people to pay to come on here, Phil?
Oh, pretty much.
You think that could happen? Like that's a possibility?
Oh, I have no.
So I just told Ben anytime after 5. So we're talking with Ben Wright pretty soon. That was Daniel Watkins. He's a good friend of ours from Music World, from the music universe. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. What's that? Is that a lizard? Well, a lizard needs a theme song.
That's Toby.
That's not a very good theme song for a lizard. It got loud here on this end.
Hello. Welcome to fifth show of Jon and Phil Show.
We actually have another guest already.
We have another guest.
Lined up. He's waiting in the green room already right now.
Is he really waiting in the green room?
He's waiting in the green room, man. Can you believe it?
Oh, I bet you I know who he is.
I want you to guess. My only clue is he travels the world. I already said his name like 4 times. It's not, but they have to be paying attention. So
Get some chickens.
he travels the world. The roosters. But what really prowls the hen house? Is it the roosters that prowl the hen house, or is it the fox that prowls the hen house?
Here's the key. The last show I saw was him.
The last show you saw was him?
Yep.
Which band?
Not the band you think of.
The Fist Band? Oh, hey, everybody. Our friend Ben Wright is in the room now.
The last band I saw live.
Ben Wright, how are you, my friend? Our good friend Ben Wright from the Hen House Prowlers is joining us now on the Phil and Jon Zone. Thank you for coming, Ben. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Ben.
How are you?
Good, man.
Jack, how are you, son?
All right. All right.
I watched your stuff today through the Blue Ox page. You guys, quite professional production you put on.
Thanks. I'll pass that on to Chris and Jake who did the video.
Dollar really had he has a really Captain Kangaroo feel to him. It's just really nice. It felt really good to hear him talk on those videos. Just tell him that.
Yeah, right on.
Are you in the central time zone, Ben?
Yeah,
He's probably home, I bet you, aren't you?
I am home. Yeah.
Yep.
That show I saw was your show.
Yeah, it was the last thing I did in public, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My jacket's still there at some bar down there when you had to run at Yeah.
You left your jacket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here it is. Here's one of them. At the G-Man Tavern.
Yes, sir.
It was a beautiful thing with Eric Lambert.
I haven't seen Eric for a long time.
That's my last live show.
Yeah.
I just caught Eric on a live feed recently where he's teaching people guitar and stuff on Sundays. And
Yeah, he's been doing every week. He's been doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. I picked up a lot from him, but I always get lost before he's done. But he definitely has brought a lot of stuff to my hand on the guitar for sure.
He's a fabulous player.
So that video was that kind of pre-recorded, pre-put together that you had for the Blue Ox thing today?
Yeah.
It was. I was really impressed, and like the way you went right from you to John to everybody through the line. It was well put together.
Thanks.
Would you have been playing there this weekend? I'm guessing.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there with Tony Trishka.
Oh.
He was going to be playing with us, and not happening.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Nothing much happening, and what is happening is kind of more scary than exciting at this point. I feel.
Yeah, it's such a weird time. It's like we're definitely getting gig offers, and we're definitely not taking them.
Are people trying to get you to play places that are like not to live crowds, maybe, or even to live crowds?
We had an offer at a show somewhere that was clearly not people that were taking COVID seriously.
Sure, yeah.
It was frustrating. It was a good offer, and honestly, any offer right now is a good offer. But this was actually a good offer financially. But the band talked about it very much like we're talking right now.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we can't do this. Like we just can't do it. And like the fact that this was in a rural part of a rural state, it was a state south of us. It was going to be a big party at somebody's house, and it didn't even occur to them that they were inviting a band that was from Chicago.
Sure.
Where the numbers are, almost as bad as anywhere in the country. And they just didn't care about that, And I think that's the first thing that should have occurred to them. Like, do we really want these guys who are from a city that's been struggling with this harder than anywhere?
I don't think that's on their mind right now. At this point, the ones that are jumping
on the Aurora, it's really bad here, and
Yeah.
The promoters that are jumping the gun that are putting these shows on, regardless. I mean, good for them. They're doing what they can. There was one in Missouri last weekend. I mean, you have things that happen that are going to happen either way, but I'm not quite ready. That's all I'll say, and to leave it at that, And we will all get back to the show, but for now, just kind of watch and see,
We're at the Masters of the World, and Sprawlers, Ben and John and the guys in the band, and Dan Andre and all, and you have the opportunity to go travel. I mean, there's anybody who doesn't know Ben and the boys.
Are you introducing our guest now? We should probably introduce our guest. Ben Wright. Not everybody knows exactly who Ben is. Ben plays with the Hen House Prowlers, a bluegrass band from the Chicago area, we'll call it, and other bands throughout history and time, and other projects, I'm sure. And then sometimes just Ben, and he's a heck of a guy. He's not only a good banjo player and musician, but a heck of a person at the same time. And we appreciate him coming on the show.
I want to cry every time I see the Prowlers, all their lineups.
Well, they're not. They
much love. I watched Oh Brother, We're Out There, and I thought of the Hen House Prowlers, and I cried and I teared, and it's a beautiful thing to see live music. At the end of the scene of Oh Brother, We're Out There, I thought of the Prowlers, and anybody
you haven't cried on the show yet, I don't think.
Thank you, John. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you, guys.
Ben's not just a bluegrass musician, and what he does is bluegrass band, but they are also these ambassadors of bluegrass music all over the world, and they travel to many, many countries. Looking at YouTube today just to try to find Hen House Prowlers videos, most of the videos that you guys are out there are from, they're not speaking English, they're it's someplace else. It's very interesting. It's amazing.
There's a lot of those for sure.
Yeah. It's amazing how you do it. Excuse me. It's amazing how you do the vocals of the different languages, how you incorporate what you're doing in your vocals.
Yeah, that's the hardest part for sure. That takes the most time.
Are you going to Lithuania or Latvia coming up?
You know, I think we've talked about this before. I'd love to go to Lithuania. I have a place in my heart for that country. But that we haven't had very many opportunities to do stuff in Eastern Europe. We've done Russia, but the kind of former Soviet republics, we haven't really had a chance to do that. I'd like to.
Was that in Kazakhstan? Was that when you went to
You're in Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan. Sorry,
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah. But you know, the even farther west from the east there, it just hasn't happened yet. I'm hopeful. It's just not clear what all this is going to do
Sure.
as a whole to any of that stuff. We were supposed to go to Africa in like 2 weeks after lockdown happened. We were supposed to go to West Africa, and it obviously didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. The numbers are going up in Africa now, but it's still nowhere as bad as the rest of the world. It's not, and maybe it's going to get worse, but there was a lot of talk at the beginning that Africa was going to get hit really hard by this, and it hasn't been as hard as people thought, which is interesting. I think part of that's because they took the lockdown so seriously.
Yeah, they might be based on history and how things have passed through Africa and passed to at times.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like, Ebola is not a distant memory to them.
No.
And also they know that their hospitals are really not in the best shape. And if you do get sick, going to a hospital is not really a good option.
Already before this even started, this mess was even right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I know some people over there that are foreign service officers who work for the State Department, and they had to leave the country they were in because one of them was immunocompromised, and they knew that if they got sick, they just wouldn't have very many options to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So they had to leave their post, which I know was very painful for them to do. So it's every time I complain about what's going on, you
go in your backyard or where you're at, but we have no answer, do we, John?
No. But the more they think they got it figured out, the more it just turns around and tricks us. And watching these states open up, and I've been, I was watching every day for a minute, and then I kind of got to where I watch the news every couple of days now, and if something big happens, somebody will say something. But you got to keep your eye on it. You have to keep an eye on it.
You're a smart person. I'm just saying, we really, as we're talking, we really don't know anything answered. Do you have an answer, or
You mean like what? I mean, what's the question?
What's the question?
The answer is 42.
Other countries have no virus. That you've been offered to go to a different country and play?
I just don't think anybody's in a position to be thinking about that right now. It's like, it's just right now the trip we were supposed to take to Africa, which was to Cote d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast, as a lot of people call it in America, and Gabon, both French-speaking countries.
Correct. All your henhouse brothers.
Right, and they right now the word is we're going to wait and see. The budgets that pay for these kinds of exchanges are annual, and it's possible we could go before the end of the year, but I kind of doubt it. But we did a bunch of work. We were ready to go. We learned a song from one of the countries, and we learned the national anthem from the other, and we're ready to do this. So it's like to switch to another country would be
Would be a bummer.
that'd be a lot of work. Yeah, I don't imagine anybody's doing anything right away. We'll all be waiting for whenever we get to do.
Well,
that's what we get
Indiana's
to.
pretty much open. July 4th, they're going to have
Yeah.
everything 100%.
There's like Grateful Dead, Hippie Hill, Grateful Fest at Bean Blossom. Everybody saw that. Pete Rowan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, my girlfriend Laura's going up to a venue. It's like a drive-in theater coming up where there's no camping, but those stuff is starting to open up at place I forgot the name. But other countries, other than sports radio, I think it's better than news radio because they're telling about what's happening. Other sports, other venues are open up. Sure, you got a distance. I'm rambling, but I think
That's part of
we're
the
a little.
that's part of the appeal of our show is your rambling, Philip.
I don't, the first thing that's on our calendar that I think may be likely to happen is the Hartford Fest.
Yeah, September.
Which is what, September?
Were you on the list for Shoe at all, Ben?
You know what? We had 2 other festivals that weekend, and it was the first time that we didn't even really have a discussion with Shu because we were already booked.
Yeah.
And is there any word about whether it's happening or not?
There's been positive talk from Camp Shaw a little bit. You know, they're willing to do it if by that time it's okay.
We're live. Yeah.
We're not saying any yeas or nays. I mean, we had Matt Robinson come on the show, and he said that they were feeling positive even a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm having drinks with him tomorrow night, so
yeah,
maybe I'll find out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah. So what's the Ben lives? You live in Chicago or near Chicago? Where do you live, Ben?
I live at the corner of Wilson and Lincoln, right in Lincoln Square, so right next to the Old Town School.
So you've had quite the experience this last couple of weeks, huh?
Are you going to see Blotto at Sunday first out? No.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I live in the suburbs. I live a couple blocks away from Two Brothers Roundhouse, and I start to open up, and they have this central location, which is great for bands. And
yeah. I thought about that too.
You're right. And I don't. Yeah. You're out.
Too bad that stage doesn't rotate though, because then you could have people all around it.
Well, you can go around. They have 7 fireplaces out there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. And I have a guest room, Ben, for you and the band. You pull up the bus right here.
One room for the whole band. That's kind of like in the bus. I'm sure it's pretty similar to the same line.
I got a full table. Come on, Ben. You don't know me, but I miss Hen House Prowlers a lot. I really.
Are there any new projects in the works with the Prowlers? Have you guys been doing some musical stuff? I mean,
yeah, we're leaving Sunday to go down to Indiana and record.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where Chris is probably, or where?
Yeah, right outside of Bloomington. There's a really cool recording studio down there that's in an old church, and we were there. We did 3 songs, like the first track, like we cut the beginnings of 3 songs, and then the lockdown happened. So like I remember that we were in the studio, we worked all day, and we were sitting in the engineering booth listening back to the tracks, and like all of our phones kind of blew up with the fact that things were going to lock down, and it was just like, we got to go. And John and I got in the car and hightailed it back to Chicago, stopped at a grocery store to pick up some necessities.
Saw the beginning of that chaos, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right. When we just weren't sure what was going to happen, there was definitely panic in the air.
Yeah, there was. I'm from Decatur, Ben, it's 3.5 hours south of Chicago, and our town doesn't feel that big, but it went down here just like anywhere else, Yeah. Through all the events that have happened recently, But we talked to Jake Willis a little bit. He was on the show a few weeks ago, right before. I guess we started this by the first week of lockdown. And this is just like our booth right now. We can't go to the show, so we do this. And we were talking to Jake a little bit because he's right there in Wicker Park, and he was having some interesting experiences out there. What was going on around him during the post-protest looting kind of situation that was going on. Are you seeing any of that?
I had a couple of rough nights for sure. I made the mistake of trying to find out too closely what was going on, and I went from Reddit. I went to Reddit because Reddit is a good source of kind of up to the minute information, and then somebody there linked me to a police scanner.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I listened to it for a while. Oh, my God.
And so for 2 nights, I was just glued to the police scanner. And it got real close to here. A pizza joint I go to had some issues, and then my CVS got broken into. But that was the end of it. And, I think this was about as far north as they made it. And I didn't do myself any favors by obsessing over that stuff.
No, sure, no. I think we all did. That's when turn that news back on and start watching those feeds, and I was watching all of the people on their phones doing the walk. They were walking through cities like Louisville, and where these big protests were happening with their phone going live, and then you turn to the news and try to find it, and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
You find yourself searching back to these people's phones, for this information now. It's a scary time, scary. Hopefully that's kind of the wave has kind of not crashed, but at least that angry part of it maybe, now we can get to the serious change that needs to happen and whatnot and all the good.
I hope so. I mean, there is some change happening. It's just hard to take too much hope in it with our president trumpeting the shit that he is.
Yeah. Times are strange, and it's definitely a sign of the times of all of these like dominoes of weird one thing after another that we don't understand.
Yeah.
We don't do much politics on the show. We try not to do our best. We all no listen. Usually Phil comes in with his FCC warning that he comes in with, but we got a call from the FCC saying you can't talk about that. But that's okay. We all feel the same way. Most of our crew that are paying attention, they do too, which is good.
Hey,
we definitely are on the same page. That's for sure. Let's just put it
I
that
work
way.
really hard to not be political on my own stuff. Like I feel like the message of the things that we. It speaks for itself, and so it's funny. I kind of let my guard down, and I shouldn't do that. Like, I don't think, broadcasting your beliefs. You're not going to change anybody's mind by just saying what you believe sucks.
Yeah, and normally it just makes them a little bit angrier. It makes me angry. It makes you feel frustrated with that other person that you feel so different.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to get pulled into it these days. There's a lot of everything's so strong and everything's so real and big that it's hard not to just jump in. There's our FCC guide right there. What do you got there, Philly?
My last show live.
Yeah.
What? I got 4 Sex Fist albums from their last show live.
Oh, that was a fun night.
I think Pete Bocek and Thea Grace just logged onto the feed. We love our
Pete.
Thea
What are you
Grace.
cooking now?
We need to reach out to Thea Grace and see if she'll come on the show and sing a song for us. She's got.
Yeah, you should, man.
Is she?
She's just one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's been wonderful.
Yeah, she is. I reached out to her yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if she wants me to tell people this or if it annoys her, but I think I remember an early Henhouse Prowlers show where like maybe a 15 or 16-year-old Thea opened up for us.
Yeah.
This was probably 12 years ago or something. And it's been cool to see her turn into such a badass.
She's awesome. Last year her set with Janice and Jake at Shoe Fest was just incredible.
Well, I missed that. I heard it was
so
great.
you basically got Janice on the bass and Jake on the lead, and just it was a good set of music.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were 2 other musicians up there. I'm not even thinking. Amazing. I think Ali Crawl was up there. It was a good show.
Everybody give big hug to Lennon.
Yeah, little Lennon. Yeah, of course. Yeah, all of our friends in those situations. We always do big virtual hugs. That's part of our show.
We're not clowning around to you. She doesn't like the word clown.
Well, we won't mention that again. Now will we, Phil? Come on, she just logged off. Dang it.
It's your father's fault. Thank you, Dave.
You want more people to watch, Phil, then you come on here and you're just embarrassing every time. I don't understand.
Well, that's me. You put me on the show. Why'd you put Phil?
Because we're best friends, man. This is why we do what we do. This is our.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Have you guys found this extra time like a foundation for more creativity?
Oh yeah, I think things are definitely changing, progressing.
100%.
I've been painting a lot, and normally my intentions are to paint and fill the booth for the next weekend coming up. And
When's
then
that?
which is not till September probably, but that's what normally throughout the summer. That's what I'll do is I'll paint and do a show, whatever people like. I feed off that. But lately it's been just what do I like to do, and what's happening is all different stuff from last year. It really has. It's given me a lot of opportunity to focus on what I'm working on, my work.
That's cool. That's good to hear. I've kind of personally struggled with it. It's not, it definitely feels like our industry is in dire straits, and it hits me on a daily basis, and has not helped me feel too creative, to be honest. But I'm grateful we're going into the studio to record.
Yeah. I was already concerned about my musician friends before this happened. The music scene was starting to not stretch thin, but just, I know all you guys work so hard to do what you do. We take for granted these bands come and play for us, and you can do these shows, but it's a struggle to get to each one of these shows, and it's a lot of work. So when anything like this starts to happen and it really pinches on everybody, you guys take the brunt of it. I mean, that's one of the first things they shut off was the live music,
Yeah, and it's the thing that's going to be shut off the longest.
Yeah, I agree, and probably for good reason. If all this is what it is, and we do hug a lot, and we drink a lot, and we have a good time, there's a lot of interaction. We share food. I mean, we're good people. That's what our scene is communal in a sense, So I think it should be for a little while before they decide it's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm kind of on the Vince Herman kick where it's too soon, and we'll just wait and see what happens. And I hope you guys can survive. I hope musicians can carry through and do what they need to do to make things happen. Henhouse Prowlers. Was it henhouseprowlers.com? Is that the website?
Yeah.
henhouseprowlers.com. Everybody, if you don't know who they are, go check them out. Listen to them. Ben is a great friend of ours, and I just want to make sure
What's
they
the
get
name
that.
of the band? Henhouse Prowlers?
Henhouse Prowlers, yeah. Which I think is a fox. Some people take it as a rooster. I think of it as a fox. But I just wanted to make sure they hear that, Ben, that kind of stuff. Because you guys are important on what we do, and me and Phil are just these sideshow acts that come along and do what we get to do because you guys. Between my posters or selling the artwork, I'm way more comfortable in a festival music scene than a gallery for myself. And it's I've been lucky. I've been busy with it, but I just hope.
I just put on my favorite shirt.
I thought we were supposed to wear like a suit or something tonight. I didn't get the jacket or anything. I got the vest on and everything. Ben shows up in a fucking t-shirt. Pardon my language, t-shirt.
Oh, sorry.
I'm telling John. When I talk to Goldfine, I'm telling him right away.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your acknowledgement of that, but I think you guys bring a lot to the scene as well. And I realized early on back in, I guess back at the Kinetic Playground, that the vendors and the artists helped create the feel of a festival on the snowiest night of the year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I started seeking it out. I remember Despina used to kind of just show up and clandestinely set her stuff up. And,
right. Yeah, I've seen her do that.
I think the first couple of times she did that, I was just I was irritated for whatever reason. Like there was no reason, no, I had no right to feel that way, but I was just like, what is she doing? But I picked up really quickly on the fact that it became part of the whole thing, and I started seeking that out. And so when we did the Tuesdays, one of the 3 Tuesdays that we were going to do at the G-Man Tavern, I actually actively sought out people to be there, including you, Phil.
Yes, you did, Ben.
Yeah, because I feel like it adds to the whole feel, and a show can't just be about the music. It's about the people, and can easily be about the art too. And I think that creates a big picture.
I learned that at kind of an early age of like as much as I enjoyed the concert and the live performance, that it was half the experience that what you got from walking into the show, from the parking lot before the show, the bar during the show, whatever it was, every little experience that you pick up at a festival, especially where you have camping and friends and overnights and mornings and swimming and whatever, who knows what else happens at the festival. But there's so much good that happens there. Yeah, you really, it's amazing. You know, I sought it out too as well, as far as like once I experienced it, like I want to try to find a bigger scene, a different kind of scene, a more interesting. These people all have the same idea of what's good, and it just felt good.
Mm-hmm.
All the people who are in Henhouse Prowlers, all the people from John and Ben who have done all this great music. They didn't know me from Adam. They accepted me as a human being, from Dan Andre to Ben and John and Feed Your Head. They were human. They were not musicians. They were real.
It's funny you mentioned that, Phil, about the players too. When Dan was there, and even Eric, everybody throughout
Chris
all the years.
Dollar and who's a musician in your band?
Jake Howard. Yeah, he's a hawk.
These guys have been bluegrass ambassadors for years. Just here, you know, and everywhere they go.
It's sick. It's dope. They're killer.
Thanks, dude.
We miss our shows so bad.
You're such a sweetheart.
It's underrated, though. It's really underrated. Buy a shirt. Buy some stuff.
You know, I will say that I feel like we've been a little bit luckier than other bands through this, because we do have our nonprofit, and we've been able to continue doing Bluegrass Ambassadors work during this, and it's given us an outlet, and I'm grateful for that. Not being able to do anything for months at a time is driving everybody nuts, but it's allowed us to kind of shift some of our priorities and do some other things, like that workshop that you saw today.
Yeah.
On the Blue Ox stream. There's another one coming up tomorrow where we're teaching people how to play that song at the end.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And,
the Missouri Woman song?
Yeah, Missouri Mama. Yeah.
Missouri Mama. Okay. Dang, I knew I was close. I was singing Missouri the whole time. I know. It's Missouri.
That's okay. It's close to it.
It sounds similar sound-wise.
The word is close to
Missouri,
it, not the country.
No, and probably not what it means at all, actually.
Yeah, Missouri Mama, Suriyako Missouri Mama means your face and you're beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Your face is beautiful.
I love that. You guys have gotten to listen to some
When you
interesting
guys
stuff.
see that Frankfurt Bluegrass Festival and John Hartford, you know Frankfurt.
Oh, yeah.
I sing these different languages from foreign countries. I'm startled and I freeze and have goosebumps.
Are you talking about when the Prowlers play their weird songs and stuff, and that they all,
Yes,
or just the
from
people
different
that you meet in
countries.
Frankfurt?
It's amazing.
Every year it's a different language. I try to learn the song, and then you come back and it's a new one.
It's all different. It's just.
What was the first one you guys did like that?
Bands,
Hold on, Phil. What was the first one you guys did like that, Ben? When you first went to the first place you went to learn their song, was it
Chop My Money?
Was it Chop My Money?
Chop My Money.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. Yeah, that one would be stuck in my head forever. I'm sure wherever.
And it's Dan Andre.
That's the one that made me realize the power of learning those songs both ways. It wasn't just that going to Nigeria and playing that. I mean, yes, that was massively popular and a hit that we played it there, but bringing it back home, that's what was really cool. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a thrill out of starting to sing a song. And I used to think I had to introduce it every time, and now sometimes we'll be at a festival, we'll just bust it out, and people are like, "What the is going on?" You know?
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Money. Money.
That's a great. There's a reason it's catchy, and it caught on where it caught on at because it's catchy. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I got goosebumps. Yeah,
That's
And
cool.
one of my, I've heard this from multiple people in regards to that song in particular, is that once they learn that it's from Nigeria, uh, that becomes part of their knowledge about it. And I've heard of multiple instances of people meeting somebody from Nigeria and saying to them like,
Sure.
"Hey, do you know the song Chop My Money?" And all of a sudden they become friends with this person that before they
Yeah.
might not have had anything to talk with them about, and it's like become this
That's
tool for them to connect with somebody from a completely different culture. And I think that kind of exemplifies the reason we do what we do. It's like these music is this amazing tool that can connect people from anywhere,
yeah. And right now, being alone at home is hard for musicians, I imagine, because music is so cooperative with other people. I mean, you need
I can't tell you how
Goldfine to
rarely-
send you some bass lines over or something just so you can play over them.
It's bizarre. We've made a bunch of those videos, and they sound okay once they're put together. But I'll tell you, the weirdest thing in the world is sitting there in my apartment with a camera on and playing just the banjo part and singing. It's just like, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right, it's not the way it's supposed to be. And I followed you through all your travels, Ben, in Henhouse Prowlers throughout the world. I liked looking at that where you travel different countries. It is amazing. I think you underestimate what you're doing when you travel to Pakistan or wherever you're going, and you're teaching these kids and people. It's amazing what you do, and it's so simple for you how you do it. You and John Goldfine, and the other musicians you play with, Ben. That is. I don't look at internet a lot or Facebook like that, but I follow your travels in the Henhouse Prowlers, and what you do is fantastic. I don't know how to explain it, but
I love it. I feel very lucky.
no, you're very I'm lucky to know you guys, and that's it's some serious great shit. It's underestimated. Me and Laura, my girlfriend, we hear the songs. I'm rambling. She told me to quiet.
Keep going, Phil. I'll play you out when it's time.
Well, I got a clock. In other words, it's just certain things and certain when you go away that I miss the Prowlers. I got Henhouse Prowlers. I got Sex Results. I got a big I'm looking at them. I'm doing other artwork, and I'm like, well, that memory when they play with Major Junctions, and you guys signed it from Dan Andre to your old bandmates, and I looked up stuff that I want to bring up to the Prowlers, your old thing, and you can't explain it though. It's such a beautiful thing. It's your turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Strauss. We love Phil here at the All Night Lincoln Lounge here. We appreciate him coming tonight. Thank you, Phil.
Is he playing the piano?
No, it's on the recording. I wish.
I was like, damn.
That was good though. I'm like, yeah.
It kind of looks like it the way he's sitting on the side there. Like,
That's one thing I don't know how to do. We're trying to make the show interesting this time. This is always something we've been doing for fun, Ben. It's good times. We do appreciate being part of the show tonight.
absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah. You're always welcome to play the banjo if you like to. That's up to you. We don't put any pressure on anybody. It's just we keep that available, opening in the intro of the outro.
I mean,
Hey Ben.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Ben, we're gonna do a raffle coming up with Chicago Farmer and Matt Robinson from Old Shoe. You mind us doing a raffle for Sex with Them?
Of course.
Okay, we're gonna donate, and we're not gonna keep.
How
We're
many
gonna.
raffles are you doing tonight?
We haven't started it yet. We have 3 things off raffle tonight. You and me.
I know. We actually already had a donation tonight. Somebody donated for a raffle ticket already. My Aunt Kathy.
I don't know how we do it. I want to give it to a fund. I would like to. This is their last.
Yeah, we'll
show.
give
I
it
got
somebody.
4 of them, but I'd like to do something with them. Just sitting here.
Yeah, that's great. Have you had Chicago Farmer on?
It's a sore subject, kind of.
He doesn't want to come on. He thinks I'm a dork. Hi, Cody.
He does his show on Friday nights at 7.
All right.
And
We had Vince on last weekend.
the first few weeks, Cody was
I don't care.
willing.
We had Ben Wright on. I don't really care.
The first 2 weeks, Cody was willing to come on the show, and then he got busy and something came up. And then he's been getting offers. He's been playing at different venues and doing different shows for different people. And he could, we're all encouraging Cody to come on the show. He will. Okay, he's like one of our best friends. But not yet. No, so that's kind of a sad subject.
I tried to get Vince on our show, and he never got back to me. So you guys are.
He was on last
It
weekend.
took me like 4 weeks.
We got pulled, Ben.
I tried. No, I tried from like the day one we started doing it. I was like, oh, I'm going to try to get Vince on here. He'll do it. We were getting ready to do Hartford. We were going to talk about Hartford all week, and the big Hartford feed. And he came on. It was a pretty good time.
That's cool.
Just like everybody else.
Would you say next weekend we're having Moby on?
Yeah, Moby is on next week. We're all stars next week.
No, you're not.
And Jeff Tweedy is going to be on right after Ben.
Hey, Ben.
No.
So, you never know.
Is he still meaningful? Is he still contributing?
Oh, I bet you somewhere in England there's a nightclub in Manchester open tonight where he's going to rock it.
You live in Chicago, Ben?
Yeah.
My favorite XRT only.
Oh yeah. I'm not a radio guy these days.
Most people. I'm old. We just have a radio.
I bet you're not much older than me.
A lot older than me.
I don't know about that.
We shouldn't talk ages. That's probably not an appropriate subject. I think the FCC just called, so we can't talk about how old we are. Because some of our followers would go, really?
Hey man, it's funny. Our new guy Jake, he's like 27 or something, and he calls me grandpa.
You said Jake Howard, right? Jake Howard's his name.
Yeah.
Now
Where's he out of, Ben?
So where did he come from?
Ohio.
Was he playing with somebody else when you guys found him? Or
No, he wasn't. He was. He graduated from Berkeley a couple of years ago, and he's a great guy. If you wanted a guest that actually wanted to play, he'd be all over it.
I met him. I think he must have been. He was playing with you this year, wasn't he? Where did we see you this year? We saw you somewhere this year.
Did you?
Snowshoe? Did we have Snowshoe this year? Or was that last year? Shit.
I don't think.
You played with Old Shoe.
We were talking about doing Snowshoe, and then it fell through.
How do you find such famous or not fantastic musicians? Then do you have tryouts, or you get a feel for it?
I think
It's
they're
a good
always.
question, and it's definitely something I've had to get comfortable with. But I have a nice reserve of people in the industry in my pocket that I can call and put the word out through. I don't like to I would never put it out on Facebook or something.
No,
We're looking for a new mandolin player, but I'll call a handful of people and let them know. And also I just kind of keep my ears open. Chris Dollar is the perfect example of that. We played a show with Chris many years ago in Bloomington with the New Old Cavalry, and I remember that first show I saw. I was like, man, that kid's going to be great. Mm-hmm. And I just kept in touch with him and knew that someday I might ask him to join the band. And that's just kind of how it works. Jake, the new guy, it was like was a weird thing. He got suggested to us right at the same time as somebody who I reached out to had suggest. It was weird. Two people at the same time suggested him essentially, and it was a great suggestion. He's amazing.
Yeah. Do you have a committee then? It's just
no. I mean, it's you get on the phone and you have kind of a slightly awkward conversation because you don't know the person, and you're just like, hey, this is kind of how things work, and what do you think? And he was like, yeah, let's try it. And we had such a good impression from him on the phone, and obviously we saw some videos of him, and he's a monster musically. So we took a leap and booked a tour with him, even though we didn't know him that well, and it was just a perfect fit, right off the bat.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I met you at Hartford, and I saw it in your eyes. It's about the eyes and about music.
You know, it's John Goldfein's eyes too. You have to watch like when they're performing.
Allie Burke from Allie or whatever. Not Allie Crawl.
The first time we saw Jake play with you guys, it was actually at the Old
It was
Shoe
just
10
the
year.
thing I saw in your eyes, Ben, and you knew it. And you knew it. This is way before. And then all the musicians you get are fantastic. So you have that chi factor of can't explain it. You got it. Keep doing it. I'm not gonna.
We saw you at the Old Shoe 10 year anniversary party this year, or whatever that was, the December maybe, or it was Old Shoe, and you guys opened up for him at the Castle. Almost 9% sure. And Jake was playing with you guys, and we weren't making jokes, but we were watching John watch Jake play, and I think Amy or somebody turned to me and said, "Is he doing an audition tonight? What's going on up there?" And John just pays attention, you know, and he watches his face and interact with the musicians as they're playing. It's fun. You guys have a great stage presence.
Last live show I saw was Sex Fest with John and Eric Lambert.
I've never seen Sex Fist before.
At whatever.
Don't Google that.
G-Man Tavern. You know, me and Despina, Ben reached out, which was pretty cool for me to Ben the show.
Yeah.
But the point of seeing them play live, see, the guy got goosebumps right now. It was fantastic. That's great music.
Who plays now? It's a Sex Fist. It's you and John. Who else? Is there a rule?
You know what they played?
Like,
You stand still and you can't put up a drink in your hand.
we get mistaken
That's
for
what
them
you
all.
do.
We get mistaken for that band all the time. It's
Fucking bullshit.
it's Bradley Longwood on bass, a guy named Chuck Hookton on banjo, and that guy drives me nuts.
Yeah, they both.
And then Eric Lambert looks exactly like the guitar player in Sex Fist, but his real name is Clutch Johnson.
It's kind of like a Red Knuckles situation, I think.
Wasn't Eric there the first night?
He was.
That's right.
I don't want to know any secrets or anything of the trade. I just think it's funny. Some people that you get Prowler shows. You've always got people that are competing to make sure that the people see their Sex Fist shirts.
Yeah, they just don't understand that we're not the same band.
They get disappointed at the merch booth.
Anthony Bourdain said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The John and Phil zone.
Yeah, I remember we used to have a hard time hanging posters for that band because nobody wanted them in the windows.
I have one that original was downstairs in my poster thing.
I did a poster for that band. It was a Groundhog's Day
Hey,
poster.
Doug,
And you don't want to Google that
The
name.
famous thing on the Bourdain show at Doug's hot dog stand.
Right.
Right, I still have the post. I have one of those posters downstairs.
That was a great poster, Griffin. The Groundhog's
The Groundhog's Day stuff.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
thank you,
We've
John.
been lucky, Ben, to work together on quite a few projects. It's pretty cool, man. I appreciate that.
It's funny, John Griffin, how many people don't really realize you. I watched a show on, I like documentaries. I'm going to start rambling now. Sorry, everybody's. The best poster guy who does Star Wars and stuff. And I thought, I watched it last night. I forgot his name.
Luke Skywalker?
No, he did all the posters for it.
All I
though.
heard was Star Wars.
No. Yours are,
I'm lucky. You know, I reached out to bands.
I go on Hulu or whatever it got. But the artwork is definitive in how many people don't know you. And I didn't know this artist.
I think that's part of the art poster thing is they know your art more than know who you are. They might know your name more than know who you are. People know my name a lot, and then you meet them, and it's not who you thought it was most of the time.
When I first met you, I went to McHenry and Summerstock in Wisconsin.
That's not where we met.
Artwork for, they had no clue where you were.
We met at Nippersink.
How long have you been doing that, John?
I did a poster in 1994 for my friend's band, The Hidden Child, THC. They were like a Led Zeppelin cover band. That's the earliest one I have. But then I really started up in probably 97 or 98. I started working at a head shop, and they had posters. They needed posters for music events all the time. So I was just doing stuff for this head shop just for fun while I was working there.
I
So
really think your stuff is underrated and sleeper. I really
Well,
do have to watch. Yeah, I
I
really.
try to appeal to smaller bands that are up and coming, or that you know, they have a no budget or whatever it is. You know, not that that's not the Prowlers. That's not a lot of the bands that I work for, but there's some band I work for as many bands as I can possibly get stuff out there for. Some of it
You've
doesn't
done
get pushed as
artwork for
far.
bands you never met.
Oh yeah, well, many times. I never met Todd Snyder, and I worked for him for 10 years.
I know that's sort of.
That's
That's cool.
but
I didn't
we
know you did Todd Snyder stuff.
I just did an album cover for him
For 10
and
years and never
a
met him.
bunch of cartoon stuff and just a whole bunch. Anytime you see a cartoon Todd Snyder, it's usually me.
You're underrated, John.
Well, I just want the art to go out there. I want to make more of it. You know, if you make so much money off of a piece of art, then you stop making art. I just would rather just keep making art and hopefully make enough to live, which I do. You know, but
I think artists are never. We don't. I watch a Jelly Bean show anyway. We don't really care. We want to. We don't want money. We want to make people smile and happy.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of both.
yeah.
A little bit of both. A lot more of the other one. But yeah.
Well, we're lucky we get to work with all these musicians that we enjoy. You know, I reached out to musicians I liked and I offered them artwork, and it turned out to be friendships and you know, long lasting relationships over the situation of time. You know, I don't know how long we've been working together. I know I was there at the 10th year anniversary with you, Ben, and before that, there was a couple events before that, I'm sure. You know,
Yeah.
late.
You're underrated, Sean Griffin.
It's funny. I didn't connect your face to your art for a few years.
Probably
I
not.
think. And I think that's just how it works. But I get the impression you're getting more attention and people know who you are more now in the past couple of years for sure.
Yeah.
Because of me, I tell them that, you know, who the hell is Sean Griffin? I'm serious. I go up to McHenry in Wisconsin. They have no clue. He did the poster. They have no clue. He was shy until he met me. Now we got episode 5. Hey, John, what's going on, my friend?
And I'll probably eventually sell a poster someday.
I'm dead serious.
I'm just lucky.
I'm
I'm lucky to do what I get to do. And it's my passion to do it. I love music, and I want to go to more shows and do more art and meet more people. It would feed each other. I use the Prowlers constantly as an example of like how a band can take the artwork and actually use it and benefit from it and, you know, make it last a little while. You know, you guys have always taken the artwork and marketed it and used it for what you needed it for. You know, and that's what it's for. You know.
Yeah, and it's a crucial part of our business. You know, it's like you have to have artwork, and that's only something I've come to terms with in the past couple of years. Is how important it is to have a unique piece of art associated with a big show. It's essential. Otherwise, it just doesn't look like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it can make a big difference. And I just like to draw, so luckily it goes together.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta go walk my dog.
Hey man, Ben Wright.
I have to walk my dog too. Let's go.
Ben, we appreciate you being here. You guys go walk your dogs,
Hey,
man. Thank you, man. Thank you, Ben.
My pleasure, really.
Much love.
Much love to both of you guys.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you guys in person, outdoors at like 11:30 at night, slightly buzzed after playing a set,
Right.
and just shoot the shit with you guys and not have this damn computer in between us.
Won't be
I
long.
don't like
Won't be
this.
long. It's good to
I
see
love
you,
you,
brother.
Ben.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Enjoy your dog, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Ben.
I love you guys.
All the boys from Prowlers, tell John go fly high. Tell all the band members hello.
Ben Wright, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Ben Wright, coming on the show. We are so lucky to have him. Thank you, Ben.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys. Talk to you later.
So let's listen to little Ben Wright real quick for just a second. He didn't want to play banjo, but he said he probably wouldn't want to. That's okay.
I think my body's sweating too.
Remember, we're having a giveaway tonight. Anybody who donates money through the links on the feed,
Can a shadow make a
we're going to put those
man?
names in a bucket and we'll fill it and give away some artwork tonight.
Did
Tune
I
in.
lose another piece? Is that an
We do appreciate you guys coming and being part of what we
I
do.
can't even find my hand.
Well, we couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't do it without you. It would be very strange. put some music on, Phil, for a minute for everybody. Take a quick intermission for everybody to have 5 seconds to light one, and we're at the end.
I got a pee.
Go pee if you gotta pee. We got a little more. We got Phil and Jon Zone after talk after this.
Jeans and old guitar. I've no family or friends. I'm the separation man.
Ah, that was nice. You're just tuning in now. It's in the intermission between the guests and the after talk. I guess we'll call it whatever.
One will alone that must keep falling if we can. What lies in places deep, where light fails and darkness creeps, in the blood and through the hands of separation man. Ice cold and sorrow strong, won't stay awake for long, won't feel the coldness of concrete.
If you have any questions about the artwork, it's all for sale. Accepting offers. Anything you see. Again, we're thanking our good friend Ben Rice for coming in tonight. We do appreciate you, Ben. The Hen House Growlers, which are here right now. I don't have permission to use the music or anything like that. I do appreciate it. They have actually given permission before. But I just want everybody to know that we appreciate you coming to the show. And I don't know what's going to happen next in this whole worldwide world. I don't know what's going to happen next with the Phil and Jon Zone. I know pretty soon we're going to get to hang out. I hope we're trying to plan together a get together for me and Phil to do a show live from somewhere. We'll see if it happens. We'll see. I got a sunflower for a beard. Where'd Phil go? He went to the bathroom, I think. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Man, I'll tell you what, we're lucky to have all the music we have in our scene and everything we get to experience and all the people that we meet and all these musicians come along and they all end up being pretty nice folks. We hope to get to bring a whole lot of good folks to you guys to see the whenever the Phil and Jon Zone. Yeah, there he is. So what'd you think of that, Phil?
That was fantastic. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, Ben's amazing. We love Ben. Yeah.
I love the Hen House Brothers. And thank you for getting it. Is T coming on?
I think we're done. I don't think we have any more guests tonight. Who were you thinking?
No.
Althea Grace, I haven't emailed her yet. I didn't get it set up. We need to give her time to get ready.
I gave her a shout out. She's playing live, Laura.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of live stuff tonight.
Anybody watching this?
Apparently, I don't know. I don't care. The few people. I mean, I care about those people, but I don't care if they're watching us or not.
I don't really care.
There's a few people out there. There's been 9
Beautiful
consistently
people, the beautiful people.
So about 7 o'clock, still about 6 o'clock now, but at 7 o'clock we got Chicago Farmer show tonight. There's Blue Ox is streaming all weekend with some live performances.
That was on my notes.
Pert Near Sandstone's playing later tonight.
Shout outs to.
Shout outs. Hold on. Shout outs. It's time for shout outs. Okay.
Shout outs to Janine for the shop. I have a bunch of signs at Milltown Market in Wilmington. I have some garden signs. Go out to Janine's shop. Check out the signs. And if you want to see Backyard Tire Fire at Castle Theater, check them out coming up.
When is that? Is that tomorrow?
Excuse me?
The Backyard Tire Fire thing, is that tomorrow? I'm looking it up right now. That's important.
It's on my notes. But the Backyard Tire at Castle Theater, playing live Scott Tipping, Ed Anderson, and the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Guys at 420 on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Mackey's Hideout, Summer Stomp is closed, but they have bands every single. musicians every single day. Sean Shield on Mondays. David, nice backyard. Bill Mackey, great stuff. Driftless Gardens. Laura and Nancy are supposed to go. They have like a drive-in. Can't camp. He goes. A band just played there. Two People's Brothers Band.
Craig Bowman.
Yeah, they're Driftless Gardens in Wisconsin. We're close to Wisconsin. You're way far away. They're going to see Frog Leg, I do believe.
Yeah,
we have a
that
raffle,
Backyard Tire Fire tomorrow night. It's at 7:30. It's the Castle Stream tomorrow night. Backyard Tire Fire.
Thea Grace tonight from California. Hey.
Yeah, Thea Grace. Follow her. Follow Thea Grace.
Indiana's open on Indiana, different states. Here you go. Stage 4. Everything's open in Indiana. We live in Indiana or Illinois. Different.
Where you live, Indiana or Illinois? Because it's 2 different time zones.
Yeah, I listen to sports radio, and Yurkovich says, yeah, Indiana's different, Wisconsin's different, Illinois is different, different zones.
Janine Pink's store is called Milltown Market upstairs.
Okay. Hey, Janine, thank you very much, sweetie. I'm getting on Vimo. There's a lot of questions in it. Hi, Janine.
Hey, Nancy Fine says hi, guys. Hey,
Pink
Nancy.
Floyd.
Tracy says, let's get some shout outs. Who's out there? Go in the comments now and tell us you're out there, and we'll say hi to you. We'll say your name on the internet.
Who name?
Phil Strauds wants me to say his name on the internet.
Tommy Harmon.
Tom Harmon. Who's that? He's the underwriter of our show tonight, the Tom Harmon Experience. Just go to archive.org and look up Tom. You don't even look up Tom because he won't find him there. You'll have to find him under Harmon712, which is also in the description of the feed tonight.
He's drinking Jack Daniels and chocolate.
Well, he needs people to like his music so he can drink more chocolate milk and Jack Daniels. I did get that text the other morning. It was like 7:30 in the morning.
What do you listen to, John, when you're done with the show? I listen. The only mode.
What do I listen to? I listen to
XRT in Chicago. It's the only thing I listen to. I'll go and put on some CD. I love music. I like old classic music. I mean, I love the diversity of WXRT.
I'm going to listen to Chicago Farmer tonight. I'm probably going to check out the Blow Ox feed because I know that's going to be some stuff.
See, this is where I'm bad about that. Then I'm not going to...
Just go to, I share everything on my page. I share like way too much stuff on my page. And so lately it's been music every night or sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. During that Hartford thing, I think I shared like 70 times. Our show's been shared.
Next weekend?
Are we doing a show next weekend? I think we should try to figure out a plan. We should figure out a plan to way to do the show from my house. There's no party next weekend. Normally we have a huge party next weekend. There's no party next weekend. But next weekend, I think you guys should come and do the show from my house.
There's no party, but
But just not talk about it anymore because there's no party.
Okay. Quiet.
But we could do we could still do the show from there. We could set up on the stage and do the show from the stage and do like an online, I
think you're good. We're all good, John.
But yeah, there will be a show one way or another next weekend, even if it's just us checking in.
We're in.
Yeah.
Checking in, checking out?
Yeah. Checking right out.
No.
But I don't know. I don't know what to paint now because I think I have too many paintings.
The story of our lives. Do we have an answer? No.
I have too many paintings. What am I supposed to do with all of them?
Are we still live?
We're still live.
Okay.
I'll tell you when we don't go live anymore. We have to do the closing part of the show where you ask me if we're still live and then I play that song and then we're not live anymore. Remember that part of the show?
What show?
This is a show?
Chester, come on.
It's time to dance. I think it's time to dance with Chester. Is it time to dance with Chester? This is probably the show where we dance. It's like some Snoopy music too. Everybody dance.
That's correct. We're here on 93 WX13.
You can't turn the radio on, you're gonna get in trouble. Dance with Chester. There's Chester. Hold on. Keep there's Chester dancing. Ladies and gentlemen, our special coordinator, Laura from Aurora. Chester the dog, and Phil Strauss, and John Griffin, live from the Phil and Jon Zone. Phil, we did it again, buddy. We did it again. That's another show, huh? We should say goodbye to the people now, I suppose. Let's talk one more time about the raffle first, okay? Before we
But
go.
we didn't even do that.
We did do it. I got an email that somebody sent us $5, man.
I don't want 5. I haven't even raffled anything. Should we do it next week?
Well, if they pitch in, I'm sending them something. I don't care. I told everybody that if they pitch in, I'll send them some stickers or something like that. So if anybody who donates anything, I'll send them something. But if you want to make an offer on any of the paintings that are behind me and whatnot,
Let's do it next week on the thing. We got to do it in the beginning
it's
of the
too
show.
late. We have to give something away now because I mentioned it
All right,
earlier.
all right.
We don't have to give it away right now, though, Phil. Phil, we can go pick. Listen, we're gonna pick a winner from tonight's show of either the sharing people and the people who donate, whatever. If they donate anything, if they feel that obligation, whatever. And we'll pick something to send something to somebody. I think we should do that every week. Send something to somebody.
I know. Here's the gift package from Scott Capwell. You get the sign, grab a hole and get dirty, and a Sunbird album. It's a package deal. So buy it.
So, like, people who donate, we'll pick somebody and we're going to send them that stuff?
Well, it's for Cam Shaw. It's from, I don't know how to explain. It's for us. Just send us the money. No, I mean, it's a Sunbird album. I painted elves. I forgot what they're about. I haven't painted elves.
Well,
and,
we're going to figure out a way to do some sort of raffle. If you donate any kind of money,
look at that. That's pretty cool.
if you donate any kind of anything to our show or to our cause, we will send you something. And tonight's show, again, was underwritten by Tom Harmon at archive.org, Harmon712.
Tom Harmon?
Tom Harmon is our underwriter.
Is he our director?
He's our underwriter. He underwrote the script for us. He didn't write enough for the jokes that we needed.
Oh,
for
good
the whole show.
song. I love this song.
But don't turn up too loud or they'll pinch us. Hold on.
Oh, man. It's the Eagles. Shambles.
We love the Eagles. Folks.
Life in the fast lane. Sure like you use your mind.
We thank you all for tuning in tonight. We're going to do some sort of raffle. We will give something away to somebody. If you send me your address and message, I'll send you some stickers. And if you send us some money, we'll put you in a raffle for the big prize that we're going to give away at some point during the Phil and Jon Zone in the future. Phil, do you have any last words for tonight's show? Last words.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Daniel Watkins. Hope you come back next weekend. It's just me and John and friends. Ben Wright, Dan Watkins. I'm just the way I am. I love you, John. Thank you for having me. Welcome to the Phil and Jon Zone. If you don't like it, well, you're not on the...
You must not be in the zone. Get in the
Next time I see
zone.
you, I'll give you a hug.
Next time I see you, I'll give you a hug. Everybody out there.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you.
That's what I was talking about too. Everybody else.
Well,
All right, I'm going to tell them we're going to say goodbye to them, and then we'll be back in the studio in a minute.
Hey, Cody. Hey, Vince. Hey.
Whoa, what the hell is that? Hold on. All right, it's been the Phil and Jon Zone. Once again, Phil and Jon Zone number 5. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of it. We'll catch y'all next Friday.